Yo,
What is good?
uh, nothing. I'm back. I ran to check on the kids. Everybody's good. We're live, chilling. Harlem, you want to do a episode of Platinum?
Yeah,
Okay, so we
for
got a
sure.
special one, right? It's for Zone of the Enders. It's the what anniversary is it? And it's tomorrow. You said.
Yeah, it's today for tomorrow for me. Not sure if it's today for you. It's on the 13th.
What is this like? 20 years? 20 years? 2004?
21.
21?
Yeah, 21
All right, cool.
anniversary.
Yeah. So we'll get into that in just a second, just for the sake of it. I'll throw the website up. It's down in the corner at all times. It's heka.uwu.ai. You can get all of our stuff there. Um, all right, let me run the thing and then we'll go into Zone of the Enders.
You've played the games, you finished them, you watched the credits roll, but did you get the platinum? 100 platinum trophies, 100 games, one player. The Heka Collective presents Platinum, Soul on Display.
All right, successful transition. Um, cool. All right, so I'll just say I'll say a little piece about Zoe and then I'll let you begin, Harlem. But I put the background together for us today. I included footage from HD Night, which to me is like essentially the end of Zone of the Enders. It's not the end of releases by any means, right? There's other releases after HD Night. But this is kind of like, as far as I know, the last time you kind of see all of these people that worked on this game in one place. And it is sort of bittersweet because there was some anticipation for the series continuing. And here we are at the anniversary, 20 plus years on. So I know you're a big fan of this series. You mod the subreddit and the Discord. You like basically run them, right? Is
That's
Harlem here?
correct.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I was like, yeah. I was gonna say this isn't just a this one's not just a game, and I think we've done a lot of all kinds of Zoe content. But yeah, I mean, just tell us a little bit about the series, the games you'll be talking about. Feel free to start wherever you like, and we'll kind of have footage of the end running as you speak, just so you're aware. All right, take it
Mhm.
away.
Yeah. So what can I say about this franchise that I didn't say before? But very dear game to me. I guess everybody knows, and was one of the my first PS2 game basically because the first game was a gift from my father, and that's how I basically entered the 3D era of video games because I just used to play the PS1 in arcade houses and stuff like that. But it really marked my life, like the first Zone of the Enders, and then I would play the second one a lot later because Brazil, you don't always get the video games you want at the time. It was a different era back then. There was no internet, of course, and for a while after I got Zone of the Enders Street, that was all I wanted to play. I didn't want to play DMC3 anymore. I didn't want to play Killzone anymore. It was just that for a while. So got kind of addicted to Zone of the Enders when I was like 7, and then it all started from there. The whole obsession with Kojima stuff. Because without
So
this game, I wouldn't even have met most of my best friends, which are so.
for that's true. For everyone that doesn't know, this is kind of, this Zone of the Enders is Hideo Kojima's mecha, side project that is sort of sandwiched in between Metal Gear 1, 2, and Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. And it is like an interesting sort of thing now, frozen as part of gaming history. Because it is an action game. It is fast paced. It is at a scale that is completely unique, I think, in terms of his other games. There's nothing I think that he's ever made where you are as big or destructive or as fast. And it's a very, it's an interesting thing because there's a whole other team. We've done like, dude, we've done like huge videos on just the development process of it. But most people's introduction to it was because what was it? Zone of Enders 2 included a demo of MGS2. So a lot of
No,
people,
it
or
was
was it
one.
Zone of Enders 1? Yeah, so a lot of
Yeah.
people picked it up and played it for that demo. Um, but it is unique. It's like it's both its own thing, cohesive, a very good take on the action, genre. But it's also a tech demo in a lot of ways. It's them pushing the boundary on the PS2, trying for higher, amounts of models on screen, different, collision techniques and things like that, that would turn up in other games. Um, so yeah, I guess if you want to talk about, this is platinum, so you have platinumed, um, you know, these games because of the HD remakes they put out on the PS3, right? Those came with trophies.
The HD collection, they came with trophies now. So,
Yeah,
you
tell
know,
us about it.
th- they're not very hard to platinum. They're very easy, in my opinion. You know, it's like dumb stuff like you get the virus with 8 on Zone of the Enders 1 and you have to kill like 10 enemies without getting hit, which is very easy because Anxiety just destroys everything. And having to finish. I think the only hard trophy on one is the one you have to do all the SOS missions and get I think an A rank or S rank because if you step on something on Zone of the Enders 1 it blows up like a house or something. So you have to control the enemies and control where you're stepping as well, which is kind of a meta commentary Kojima had on big weapons, of
Yeah.
course, because that's what he does. But otherwise, Zone of the Enders 1 is pretty alright game. You're gonna have to beat it on hard to get an A rank overall to get the platinum on it, but it's a pretty easy game. I think everybody has the skills to do it. It's not hard at all. Same thing for Zone of the Enders true as well. It's like pretty straightforward. Get an S rank, which is the equivalent of a big boss rank on Metal Gear. It's not that hard. It's mostly like just figuring out stuff with time. Like if you play the game multiple times, you will know what to do eventually.
So fairly easy platinums. That's always good. That's a good reason if you haven't played them and you are a trophy hunter to go back and give it a shot. So tell
Yeah.
us, I guess we'll talk about the other Zone of the Enders media just as kind of an addendum to this. But tell us what's the current best way to play Zone of the Enders? Should you play the first one? Is it worth it to try to go back and play that and dig out a emulator or go find an old copy? Are there, what's the most available way to get into the series if you've never played it, and what do you recommend?
Right, for people, I would recommend going straight up into Zone of the Enders True. Mostly because it's available on PC, PS4, PS5, and it runs like really, really smoothly. It runs at 60 FPS 4K, and on the PS5 or PS4, so it's really accessible. It's also on sale right now, if I remember well. It was like $15 or something, so it's very cheap. It's a short game, but it's one you're gonna remember for the rest of your life if you like hack and slash stuff. It's like very fast, very aggressive, and the only thing I can compare it to, and it was compared to this other franchise a few times before, is Ninja Gaiden. I feel especially if you play on extreme. It's a game that you are not allowed to make a single mistake on higher difficulties, otherwise you're dead. And it's like the aggression of the enemies and the way they form a party to strategically take you out. It's something you never see again in a hack and slash game. It's something very exclusive to Zone of the Enders True, and no other game does it as well as it does, or even tries to do it. It's like it's different from something like DMC, that is like all about style. On Zoe, you are stylish for just surviving, kind of, on these extreme difficulties, which is basically the same gist as something like Ninja Gaiden, for example.
Yeah. I mean, the designs, the look of both games definitely very unique. If you're into mecha stuff, I
Yeah,
recommend jumping into two because you can get it on Steam. There's, if you got VR, you can do little VR stuff in there too. It's kind of crazy.
VR mode, VR mode is surprisingly well put together for Mars. It's kind of like I thought it was gonna be vomit inducing, but it's not. Somehow they managed to make it work for a PS2 game, which just shows the talent that the people at Konami and Cygames that they have over there.
Yeah. And well, we'll move on here because if you're not into um, fast-paced action, there is the Game Boy Advance game Zone of the Enders, Mars, Fist of Mars, right? And there's
Hmm.
also the two animated series and the short movie, the OVA from Sunrise, ILO and Dolores. So I know you want to. I know you want to talk about those. It's the anniversary. Let's go ahead and include those in here. Um,
Hmm.
you know, tell me a little bit about the Game Boy Advance game. I know it's obviously different because it's a strategy game, but is it worth going back and playing? Is it worth firing up an emu or going card hunting?
Yeah,
What do you got?
if people, this game is for people who like stuff like Super Robot Wars or Fire Emblem. This game is very long. It has like two different endings and it goes on forever. I feel like it's incredible. The writing on this game, I love the writing on this game. It's the best writing of any Zone of the Enders game by far. Like it's really well made. You have like mentions to philosophy. You have well written characters. And the combat, I don't like strategies RPGs very much, but the ones I like are like Fire Emblem Echoes or Fire Emblem, what's the name of that one? Fates. But this game, like I didn't even like the combat because I'm not a strategy RPG fan very much, but the writing of this game is so good that I couldn't put it down the first time I got it. And I got this game way later to play because I didn't know it existed for the longest time. I was like 13 when I played this game, which to me it was kind of like a Zone of the Enders 2 to me as a child, as a teen. And man, it's kind of tough. Like some of the gameplay sections are really tough, and you really have to put your head to solving them. Like there's a section that, if I remember, you have to disarm a few bombs, and in the other you have to kill more robots than the Mars Angels, and that will determine your ending on the game. So it has a lot of really tough combat situations that really put your mind to the test, and I really love it, man. It's really worth it if you're like a Super Robot Wars fan, and if you like Fire Emblem in general and strategy RPGs like Final Fantasy Tactics and stuff like that. It's really great for that crowd.
Awesome.
Really good game.
Um, I'm gonna talk a little bit about Idolo because I think Idolo is my favorite piece of Zoe side media, and then I'll let you tell everybody a little bit about Dolores. But if you're looking for, uh, like a quick way to get into the universe and get most of the context of, the background of Zone of the Enders, check out Idolo. I think it's about 80 minutes, like 84 minutes. It's like one of those classic Sunrise, made for direct market animations, and it's peak, man. It's got a lot of cool shit in it. It's got the it's got the thing that you come to expect from these kind of mecha shows where there's like off Earth people and Earth people, and there's conflict there that's vaguely trying to make some kind of commentary, I guess, about you know current day stuff. But for the most part, it's just vintage Sunrise. A lot of cool mecha fighting, a lot of cool character stuff. The ending's great. Um, it's easy to find too. I think you can probably find the whole thing, out on the internet somewhere pretty much, pretty easily. But Dolores is a little
Hmm.
different. Dolores is a episodic series. So tell us a little bit about that. I know you're kind of a, um, you shop that shit around at people. Like I didn't even really know about Dolores until I think I met
Hmm.
you. Um, yeah. So tell me a little bit about it.
So, like Dolores is so important to me. It's kind of like a tie between Zone of the Enders, True Mars, and Dolores as my favorite piece of Zoe media. Because my favorite character from from Dolores is Rebecca Hunter, which has been my avatar for the longest time. I think she has been my avatar from when I was 10 up until I was like, I don't know, 22 or something. Like, she was my avatar, and I used so many variations of that character because I think her overall story fitted mine so much, and I really identified with the character. But Dolores it's almost like a journey. You start watching Dolores, and it starts on a point of the universe, and at the end, it's on the completely other end of the universe. It's a long journey, but it's worth every second of it, and it has that whole Kojima Productions family type of vibe to it. That is mostly parents trying to understand their kids, that type of vibe and the narrative that you can see on that Stranding. You can see a little bit of Meta Gear, you can see a little bit in Boktai, and it's just great, man. It feels biographical in a way. I don't know if that's the right word,
Yeah, no, I get you.
but it's kind of like a father trying to understand his true son, his true, yeah, his true kids, basically, through the entire show. And it has a lot of crazy twists and stuff along the way, but it's so sweet the way it ends and all of the struggles they go through together. And Dolores is the type of anime that I recommend not only to manga fans but anime fans in general because it's just so well made. It's just like so
Yeah, you
well
can't beat
animated.
those old Sunrise mecha animes,
I think
man.
he I think it was one of their last cell animated anime as well. Was Dolores before they made the switch to mostly 3D and computer
Yeah,
stuff.
digital. No,
Hmm.
that's cool, dude. I mean, Zone of Enders is a beloved series for a reason. A lot of people want to see a rebirth or return or something. Um, everything from the games, the TV shows, even the model kits. It's exciting that it's been this many years and people still are pumped to see it. So, uh, not to like shill it too hard, but I know you guys are in the Discord are having some special events for the anniversary. So, if you give, if you care at all about Zone of the Enders, um, you can go to the subreddit. I'm sure you can find the Discord links. I'm sure, it's not too hard to dig up. Harlem, any last words before we flip it back to the regular stage and check out some other stuff?
Mm, Perhaps it's to me it's still crazy that if my father didn't gift me this game, I wouldn't have met one of my best friends, which are all of you. I wouldn't have Heka around. I wouldn't have made Neon Seed. So it's a game that set it up a chain reaction of good events in my life, and for that I will be forever grateful for Zone of the Enders existing. It might be on a zombie state right now because um Gunpla companies want Zone of the Enders to be released in every console possible so they can sell more Revoltex, Gunplas, and Revel and all of that stuff. But I think Zone of the Enders was extremely lucky to have someone like Hideo Kojima to put its name on it. Because it's such a weird IP gameplay wise and story wise, especially in Dolores. Like some stuff in Dolores, you are like, how did they get the permission to do something like this, right?
Right.
Like, who exactly came up and approved this? And it's not in a bad way. It's just like you genuinely wonder how they were able to convince people at Konami and Sunrise to do it. And so far, everything I ever interacted and this chain of events that Zone of Nether set it up in my life, it was always positive. No other IP or thing has ever done as good to me as this IP is. So I'm very protective of it for a very good reason. Because it's not to me it's not only a game at this point. To me, Zone of the Enders is kind of like almost like a good energy, almost like an angel. Like
Yeah,
if I'm lost and I don't feel well, I just play Zone of the Enders. I just talk to the friends I've made over it, and my life gets better.
it's
So
blessed.
yeah,
No,
it's
I feel
blessed.
that.
It's completely blessed. Yeah.
I feel that. All right, cool,
So that's
perfect.
why I love it so much.
We'll cut it there. Let me switch this back. All right, I'll pull the drawings back up. Good stuff, man. I don't know how long that was. We're at
Girl.
22 minutes with the lead in, so was probably 15. Pretty good. The
Mm-hmm.
drawing back up. Oh shoot. There we go.
Yeah, that was pretty solid.
I'm gonna take like a breather here. I have a book to look at. Actually, pull this up. Let's do it now. So we looked at Ghost Machine the last time we were live, and I just wanted to let everybody know that is now available on Global Comics. I know we show Global Comics a lot. Yeah.
I'll be able to pick it up then.
Yeah, and if you have the membership, you can, I don't know if they're, what pages are paywalled or what, but you get a little preview of everything, I think, even if you're not logged in. So if you wanted to take a look at Ghost Machine, we looked at that. This exact book is up on Global Comics. We are up on Global Comics as well. You can get there through our website. Follow if you want to get updated when we launch stuff there for Neon Scene. But I also have this book, The Devil's Cut. This is from like a while ago, and it's like a collection of, pieces of different comics, little previews from this group, Distillery. It's another one of these creator-owned. This seems to be the direction people are going, is like these creator-owned, collaborative groups that are putting out comics. Let me see who's in the back of this. Some of these I was really pleased with, impressed with, whatever the word would be. Some of them I was like, okay, whatever. But it's interesting. I just was like, this was one my wife picked out. Here's all the creators, if anybody recognizes anybody. There you go. And I'm just kind of, I like to go to the comic book store and just pick random shit, pretty much. But this group seems interesting, different. They have a toy. I don't know. They have an art toy. Some of these I really was like not into, and I read them and it was like a fucking chore. Some of them were great. This one was great. I'll actually walk through this one. This one, Waiting to Die, was awesome. I would figure out if there's more to this. It was really cool. These people are like chilling, and they're, they have a fucked up relationship or whatever. But the thing is, there's like an event, and I guess it wipes people's memories. And there's like a really cool emergency broadcast that cuts in and is like, this may not be the first time that you've seen this. It's like, it's a good premise. This idea that there's like some kind of event that causes everybody who sees it to completely lose all their memories, and that they just loop this same emergency broadcast all the time for people who are just like not taking their pills anymore and forget what happened. I like that. So there was cool stuff in here. I don't know how common this is becoming, of collecting stuff, and these people start, comic creators starting to get together and taking their, their pitches or their original work or stuff they've already done and collecting it in these little books. I didn't have as much fun with this one as I did with Ghost Machine. But I would recommend it if you've come across this and you're like a light comics reader like me. Like I said, this was a pick from my wife. She threw this at me and was like, hey, read this and do something with it on stream. Talk about it. I was like, sure. But yeah, it was pretty good. There was some fun stuff. This one's kind of fun, like a secret agent on an island. It was just kind of I don't know what I went in with no expectations, and I was like, okay, this is just like a collection of stuff, and some of it just wasn't, my speed. But like I said, I think if you don't read a lot of comics, if you're like me and you have 2 children and you don't have a lot of time, and you want like to get some leads on something, this wasn't a total waste of time. So yeah, there you go. That's what I brought to the table tonight to pad it out, and now I'm done. So now let's wind down. Perfect stream. Perfect stream. 30 minutes of content. We'll chill. Anybody got anything they want to talk about while we're still live? Anybody want to shit on the Apple Vision Pro?
I'm seeing
what else
people
happened?
I've been seeing people saying that you have to unplug it to turn it off, but there's like it's an Apple product, so just hold down the fucking like screen on off button or whatever, or like there should be a button on it that you can just hold down. You don't have to fuck with a cable.
Yeah, those things are the push to show people with them on in public is very funny to me and very
Refuse.
inorganic.
Like the
I
person driving their
refuse.
Tesla
Yeah.
with that
I
on.
Uh-huh.
refuse. I refuse to wear one until they look like normal sunglasses. Thank you.
Well, that's what the Google Glass was, and nobody
Kind
wanted
of.
that.
Yeah, kind of.
I wanted one.
You wanted a Google Glass. Google Glass was like the display would have been, I think, probably comparable to like a Nokia brick phone now, you know what I mean? Cuz it was like a projected display onto the glass, onto the glasses. So the
Mhm.
resolution was like extremely low probably compared. But I just think the whole thing is funny where you keep seeing these people being like it's so it's so badass to wear this in public and it's like dude, it's really not. It's fucking really bad. Cuz and I think like the most interesting post I saw was somebody being like talking about how China is going to be the first people to make this product not look ridiculous because they'll be able
Probably.
to like well just like the like wearing like a floor length leather coat is like now a prerequisite for wearing your Apple headset. Like you have to dress like a like a cyberpunk techno freak if you want to
Yeah.
pull it off. You can't wear like business casual. You can't you can't wear like
Yeah,
there's-
just be in a suit.
it doesn't work. Yeah, you need to wear like some shit out of the Matrix and walk around in a place like Shenzhen or something where there's like drone dragons flying around. And it's like that was like the most interesting thread about the fashion aspect of the Vision Pro that I saw. Cuz it was accompanied by like like some woman in some Chinese city but wearing like a floor length leather duster. I was like, yeah, well now it works. Now it looks badass, of course. Obviously. Oh fuck. Because I feel like that's the only other news besides like the maybe Vosh leak, the horseman,
Yeah.
and then like
The horseman cometh.
yeah, there's really nothing to talk about. I don't like to do any of this shit. I hate that this I hate I hate when people have to talk about stuff because it happened. But I do like I don't mind talking about things that will continue to happen. The Apple Vision Pro is a thing that will go on. They're really gonna force this one.
Oh yeah, it's a Gen 1 Apple product. Just wait. Give it 10 years. We'll see what happens.
I'm
Can
more
we-
interested now in like who, because Apple I feel like is cooked. Like there will be third party Vision Pro things that are way cooler.
Probably. Like all the cases and stuff like that.
Well, it's
Carry
just like a
bags or
it's just like a
whatever.
status thing. Apple's just like a status thing, but like
Yeah.
there's better phones and there's better computers and shit. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like somebody else is gonna make their own thing and it's gonna be cooler and sleeker.
Mm.
Like Harlem's saying, he's not gonna wear them until it's a pair of glasses.
Yeah.
By that time, hopefully they won't be $3,500. That's the thing.
Don't forget that's not even the full price. If you want optical lenses, like so if you wear glasses, you can't wear the Apple Vision Pro. So if you want optical lenses,
That's
it's like an
crazy.
additional $200 or some shit.
When we were designing Neon Seed, I was so adamant that it would be like at a point where there were not that many screens and there were not that many like visible tech things. And I feel like this was, because of I knew that shit like this was already in development, like the Apple Vision Pro and whatever the hell Steam is doing with their brainwave shit. Um, because that's like the most interesting thing about it is that like if I don't have to wear one, but people wearing them gets rid of like screens everywhere, I'm actually okay with it. Like the people that want to wear one all the fucking time, feel free, I guess. You know, I can't stop you. But if it means that I don't have to see like, you know, LED screens fucking everywhere, that would be sick. Because you know what I want? I want a monocle. I want a disposable monocle that lets me see the important shit, and then I just throw it away when I leave wherever I'm at. Because that's what they're gonna have to do. They're gonna have to give poor people a little disposable tech, so they can see just the digital signs that they're supposed to see. And if you have a premium thing, then you'll see like the cooler shit with higher resolution graphics. I just want a little disposable one. Because I don't know if I can do this shit. I literally don't know if I could put that on my head and walk outside my house. Or even walk into a store and pay for one. Does anyone, before we go, the only other thing I was going to bring up is Xbox gone? Is Xbox done? They're out of hardware. Is that real?
They're gonna say that in 2 days. Apparently, they're gonna make a
Let's go.
business podcast update.
That's news to me.
Yeah.
Good for them,
So
man.
I'm even gonna post this here. Let me get up the post and you can have here.
Nah, I say
Let me
good for them. Consoles are dumb. Branded hardware is fine. I say go for it.
I mean, they can focus on making games that'll run on PCs now.
They can do whatever they want.
They say here it is. They posted this on 3 p.m. on today. So they says, please join us for a special edition of the official Xbox podcast. Hear from Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and Matt Booty
Oh,
as
yeah.
they share updates on the Xbox business. That never happened before.
Yeah.
To have a next business call.
No, it's good, man. I hope Sony gets out of hardware too. I really do. I hope they start making computers and pre-built PCs and shit. They can
I'd be
put out
down with
they can put out a
PC.
console, but it should be modular and it should be a PC.
Mm.
The hardware. Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of, I got Days Gone on PC. And speaking of, why does a PlayStation game have the best graphics changing settings
Right.
I've ever seen in any video game?
They do
It
good PC
runs
conversions, man.
it runs in real time while you're changing the settings. You don't have to like click to confirm and then
wild.
it's like you have to restart it to actually make sure it works. No, like while I'm looking at it, it shows the frame rate
I gotta get that.
and I change like the lighting and it'll just change the lighting right in front of me while I'm looking at the screen. No problem whatsoever. I don't have to confirm. I don't have to like do a bunch of extra steps. It runs like it's like I'm in an engine editor.
Here's the thing, right? If I'm Sony right now, you know what I'm thinking? Just fucking scrap your your hardware division that works on PS6 or whatever. Get these people to make a box that's fully backward compatible with all your games, right? Make a retro box. And then just put together like 2 or 3 different modular PCs. You know, for your console crowd and get them into PC gaming. And like, you know, Xbox will be there for that. It's like this is totally the route to go cuz leave the hardware to Nintendo. Nintendo wants to make toys. Hardware is supposed to be a toy. That's the problem. Like there are people that consider these consoles like to be just like gaming machines but not recognizing that they're supposed to be toys.
For the kinds of games that they're trying to
Yeah.
make,
Yeah.
they don't have powerful enough machines that they can produce.
No. Not on a cycle of like 5 years or 6 years or whatever.
Yeah. like how everybody kept complaining that the Xbox wasn't powerful enough and it couldn't actually run the games that they were producing.
Yeah. Well,
Makes
that's yeah.
sense.
They should, if they want
Makes
to make hardware, they should make little retro toys that play everything. Because Sony's in a position to do that, is to just make a box that takes every fucking disc from every era, or like one that emulates them, and just start loading games onto it. Because the amount of people that would buy that is through the roof if it was like well put together and designed with community input. All right, well, we'll check that out. I'm gonna get us out of here. I'll meet you in the VC in a second, but good stream, everybody.